everybody. I'm Ivan Stockdale. I'm Joe's uncle, and I'm an equine dentist, and I look after the horses' teeth on the yard. This is James here, and he's just doing for his normal routine dentistry. We aim to try and get to see all the horses on about every 6 monthly basis. We basically work out also a dental plan, so if for instance any Joe's got any major shows or any major championships, we'll either move them forward or change their appointments to see. First thing we do, we'll just do a general head check, and we're looking for the symmetry of the musculature of the head to indicate that he's chewing okay. We're looking at the masseter muscles here and the alignment of all the bone structure and the hemimandibles as well. That could indicate any dental issues or problems. So once we've now got the gag on, we're going to now make a quick inspection of his mouth. So we've washed him out for a start, so we're just now going to just gently open him up. We'll have a good look there with the headlights. Initially we make a visual inspection all over to make sure there's no soft tissue injuries, to make sure there's no food stasis, any food that's blocking in there, or any damage to the cheeks or the tongue. And that all looks good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a dental mirror, and we're going to inspect all the arcades using a slightly bigger mirror. None of this hurts the horse, and he's quite happy to have this done. So we'll just make an inspection of all the teeth themselves from front to back. We're just using our fingers and our hands just to feel around the teeth. At all. And also snapping our fingers. It looks a bit ridiculous, but it's amazing how many times this indicates any dental abnormalities or problems. It all looks very good in there. There's no soft tissue injuries or damage, so it's just generally a routine float. And taking off the sharp edges and just rebalancing up the tables there. But that all looks good. James here is a 5-year-old, so his teeth are relatively soft, even being a young horse. And I'm pretty happy then. Okay, so basically now I'm pretty happy with the inspection that we've given James here. He's got some routine enamel points that we're going to reduce, and just some general balance work, but it's all really routine, and I'm very happy with his teeth. In the old days we used to use exclusive just hand rasps. So in the modern day now we use these diamond burrs, and these give us a lot more accurate way of taking out the teeth. They're a very efficient way of taking out the teeth, and a really safe way as well. I'll just give you a quick demonstration. So the diamond cutters there will cut through anything hard. So you'll see them slide through concrete quite happily. But they actually don't touch.
Nothing soft.
So if you touch the soft tissue at the top, it's not going to hurt. It's not sedated at all. So it's a young horse, so we'll just see how James goes. Okay. So this looks horrible, but it doesn't hurt him at all. And this is just like brushing our teeth for us. We're regularly dropping down to have a rest while I clean the hand pieces and change them over.
Still reading every day, but they're not going to the international shows, not doing the top stuff necessarily.
So we're going to carry on now. I've just cleaned off the hand pieces as well, and this keeps them quite efficient as they're cutting without building up too much heat. So we generally have a routine. So I'll start off with the first 3 teeth, wash off, let him have a rest, and then open it back up again. And I tend to go sort of like 4 or 5 at the very back. So the very back ones are just underneath the eye here. So we use a slightly different disc that's got a slight curve to it. It's the same principle, but it's got a slight curve, and you'll see that in a moment. So now we're going to just change over to our slightly different handpiece there now, and you can see there's a natural curvature to it. Still got the diamond impregnated cutting discs in there. So it's the same principle, but it's just a slightly different shape, and we're going to use that for the 5th and 6th tooth back there, which is just underneath here, and horse's teeth slightly turn away from us. So that's going to allow us to do that. So we're just going to attempt to do that. You can also notice that we're using battery equipment as well. The battery equipment has just come on leaps and bounds now, and they're very powerful. There's lots of computers there to keep the heads at the same speed. This is tailor-made for just dentistry, for equine dentistry, and it's state of the art. It's cutting state of the art, and it's also safe, so there's no electric cables or anything like that when you're working with the horses. It's also extremely quiet, and there's hardly any sound at all from the actual motor itself. Makes no sound. So again, that really helps with you doing with nervous horses. Not that our boy here is pretty good. Okay. The other thing is as well is not to overextend him. So we keep him so that we can still actually open his mouth up. If we were to try and really crank that open, it would obviously panic him, if you think of yourself as well. Okay. So I'm pretty happy now that the bottom teeth have got nicely balanced. So what we're going to do now is just going to finish off with something called an apple core. Basically, this is just a rounded diamond tip there, and this is just a finishing tool. This is a luxury tool really, and it just gives us a nice finish. We'll put a small profile to the front teeth to allow for a bit in the horse's mouth. There's nothing in Mother Nature that mimics what a bit does to a horse's mouth and pulls the soft tissue of the common surface of the mouth backwards and onto those front teeth. So we just put a nice rounded profile to allow for that, and that just keeps the horse nice and comfortable. This can be a bit more ticklish to the horse because it runs on the outer edges of the cheeks, and they can actually again feel it along their cheeks. So sometimes you get the horse to find this area a bit more ticklish, but they can't stress enough. Nothing hurts them. There's nothing going to hurt. Nothing's supposed to hurt. Okay. I'm just gently holding the tongue out of the way with my fingers. The final bit we're going to do now with the mechanical hand pieces, we're going to use this small little ball burr here. This is a really accurate little ball burr, but I'm just going to use it just to shape the front teeth to allow for that action of the bit pulling those cheeks back. And again, it's just a small amount of reduction there. Okay. All right, so look over that shoulder, that obstacle tooth. They can just kind of recognise that, and they look a really nice, neat, even set of teeth. Pretty happy with that. So what we're going to do now is basically just going to finish those off by a bit of a hand floating, just to shape and profile everything in and bring everything together. And this is the equivalent of sandpaper over a joint of a cabinet maker, really. We don't want to reduce any more teeth. That's not the point of what we're doing now, is to in effect blend all these teeth together. What we're going to do now is just a mixture of the hand tools here now, just to put this final finish and so on there. So there's a place for hand tools in modern dentistry. So yeah, so that's the final bits now. There we go. I've been in dentistry for nearly 30 years now, and this was exclusive for the first 20 years all we did. It's a lot better and it's a lot more accurate. The standard of the dentistry by the power tools has just come on in leaps and bounds. It's still a skill and a place for hand dentistry. So because he's a young horse, he's got a series of ridges down the teeth. These two are known as cingulae, and are a normal function and a normal feature of young horses' teeth. Now, because at the very back here we're really tight for room, rather than try and force a power tool in there that could actually take off too much tooth, we're just going to finish off with this tiny little needle float here. This is perfect for just getting the very back here, so we're just going to do that now.
Has his teeth still got some growing to do?
Well, a horse's teeth, they grow up to the age of about 6, and they're maximum size inside the horse's skull, or the hemimandible, is about 6. but throughout the life of the horse, the tooth is actually being pulled out by the ligament. So technically, it's getting shorter after the age of 6 or 7. So each year it gets shorter by about 2.5 to 3 millimetres. There's a constant evolving sensation. So by managing these teeth to push against each other, we're constantly managing these teeth. The biggest problem facing horses was they were never designed to live to the ages that we keep them for now. And so that's why we have to look after things like the teeth. Also, the competition horses have got lots of riding apparel around them with bits and bridles and nosebands. So it's really important that the animals can be comfortable and function properly and allow that ability to be able to chew their food, which is exactly what they're for, but also to be comfortable for being ridden work and things. With everything, and we've had a good feel around to make sure everything's okay. We do a final visual inspection again, and again just re-establishing, making sure that we double check everything. So there's a mental pattern that we have that you try and stick to. So that's what I'm going to adopt now. We're just going to just now check through all the arcades, make sure everything looks okay. If you want to get your camera in there, you can see the teeth look very nice for a young horse. And you can see those singularly ordered down the outer edges there. They look like a relatively good matching pair of teeth. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Okay, that's good. It's really important not to take too much tooth off. You can't put it back on once you've taken it out, that's an obvious thing to say. So it's a really important thing, particularly with a young horse. And they look really nice, I'm very happy with those. So what we're going to do now is going to take the tag off now, we'll pop the head guard back on, and then we'll do a final head check. Just give his face a nice wipe off. It's one of my slight irritations when we're doing the courses and things, and you see the candidates leaving thumbprints and saliva marks all over the horse's face. You wouldn't like it if your own dentist did that. And so just give the face a wipe off. And again, a recheck of the whole of the head again. So you do the eyes and the ears. Looks good. Very good. Palpation of the temporomandibular joints. Again, good. Then coming around the hemimandible at the back of the vertebral ramus and then down both these hemimandibles here. And again, these feel really nice. Good fusion at the front here. And then the symmetry of the musculature looks pretty good as well. We palpate the face again. Just make sure there's nothing we've missed. That all feels good. Okay, cool, good stuff. We do then do a final lateral excursion there to separation, and that should slide across and then lock into position on both sides. You can hear that actually feels really good. That shouldn't have been affected anyway because it was good beforehand, and we haven't done that much table work today that we didn't need to do, so that was good as well. And then I have a final check where I tap the sinuses to make sure they're nice and hollow. So we just open his mouth by just grabbing hold of his tongue, just opening it up slightly, and then tapping the sinuses. Now the reason we do that is the last 4 cheek teeth actually form part of the sinuses. So if there's any apical or root infection of the tooth, or any sinusitis or any issues there, you wouldn't get that resonance, and that we listen for the symmetry of that resonance as well. And that's also why we just check their breath to make sure. It should always smell lovely and fresh. Okay? And then he's allowed one little pat, but only one pat. And that's done. Thank you very much for watching.